Thank you for tuning in to Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast Channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.
welcome to our October meeting. Hey, Bill. You can see us now? All right, so we will get this meeting started. I'm Andrew Koff. I'm the chair of the Conservation Commission. Why don't we do a round of introductions, starting down here.
Michelle Crapo.
Kyle Welch.
Connor Madison.
Don Clement.
Keith Whitehouse.
Kristen Murphy, Conservation and Sustainability Planner.
And Nancy Belanger, Select Board.
All right, and that's everybody. So we have, looks like we have 6 people, so we're all comfortable voting. We'll be all active voting members tonight. Our light crew. We have a light agenda. Hopefully we do have some good things to talk about, but nothing, no outside applications. So why don't we go right into our action items. First one is about a letter of support for a NOAA grant application to fund the Pickpocket Dam removal. So Trevor is not here. Trevor has some obligations, but I did watch most of the River Study Committee that happened last month. Did it happen?
Just
Last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it right after our last meeting, maybe? And I don't know if anyone else had a chance to watch that. Don, you did? Okay, good. And in that, the town engineer, Paul Vlasic, presented about a grant opportunity through NOAA to get funding to remove the dam, and it doesn't require any matching. It seems like a good opportunity for the dam removal at Pickpocket Dam, even though they're sort of in the middle of a feasibility study regarding the different options, whether to remove it, to fix it, to what can they do to make it work, given that it's a high hazard dam. But they were in strong support. The River Study Committee was in support of this, and the town is moving forward with this grant application, or the town's consultant is maybe moving forward with the grant application. And so, does anyone want to discuss this concept of the Pickpocket Dam removal?
Yeah, well, you saw the same meeting. I did too, and I thought Trevor did a wonderful job advocating for this and laying out all the good reasons for process and policies. Having gone through this myself, about 10 years ago, for dam removal, the great dam down here downtown, this is a great opportunity. We had an opportunity similar to this 10 years ago, but we missed out on it. And the opportunity we had to do something for the dam. And I think the feasibility study laid out 3 or 4 options. 3 of the options all of them were over $1 million, $1.5 million, between $1.2 million and $1.7 million. This one here was $1 million, but it's the only one that would qualify for a grant because of fish passage. So I think for a lot of reasons, number one, from a financial reason, that we could solve the dam problem, DAM problem, without any taxpayer money is being put forth. And I think from an environmental standpoint, it just opens up so much more of the river to the alewife, and it returns the river to a run of the river. So I think it's a great opportunity to solve a problem and to bring the river back to more life than it is now above Pickpocket Dam. So I would hope that we would, unanimously vote to support this. I think the select board has already done that. So I think, but it's important that we show in the grant application that there is a great support from the town of Exeter to do this. So.
Yeah, I think the only reason that I've heard for keeping the dam is related to sort of recreational opportunities in the flat water above, but does not, in terms of the pros and cons here, does not seem to tip the scales. So I'm certainly in favor of the dam removal, given the success of the Great Dam Removal Project, and the impact that has had. I don't know if anyone else, Kristen, do you have anything you want to add on this project?
I don't. I think you guys covered it really well.
Okay, so this would be, is the application was due in, or is due in November?
So the letter needs to be to the consultant by Friday.
Okay, it needs to be by Friday. And then, so yeah, this is happening in an expedited fashion. But the funding would then kick in next year, correct? If we actually receive the grant? I think
It says applicants should anticipate the earliest start date for awards would be July 1st, 2024.
Okay. So it doesn't, again, this doesn't necessarily bind us to anything, but obviously if we got the funding, then that would be important.
And I feel like the River Study Committee did a good job of trying to, and Trevor really spoke to this clearly, trying to separate process from the environmental, the environmental components of it. And I think that's where your role lies. Let the, select board, town manager, and others worry about the proper process. But your focus should be on, water quality and other natural resource-based components of this.
Yeah, agreed. That's not our, the timing is not our problem. We have other problems. So, good point. Yeah, so.
Is there a motion we need to make?
Yeah.
It's in the package, I haven't got it in front of me. So, is there anything where we can have discussion? I move to authorize the chair or designate to sign a letter in support of the town applying to the NOAA Restoring Fish Passage through Barrier Removal Grant application for the purposes of removal of Pickpocket Dam and restoration of the Exeter River. Thank you.
I second that.
Okay, any other comments? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? None? Okay, the motion passes. We will send a letter. Excellent.
Just a point of clarification, so if Bill is voting because he's virtual, it should be roll call vote.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
yes.
I love roll call vote.
Okay.
Back to COVID. I just had a quick question. Don, I thought that was really well said. Do you know the next dam?
Above that,
Is it in Brentwood?
I believe it is. It's the,
So that's a big stretch. That.
yeah, it's it's on the other side of Route 125.
It's Crawley.
It's,
Crawley Falls.
no, it's beyond Crawley Falls.
The Mill Pond Dam.
It's the Mill Pond Dam that has been,
Drained.
Oh,
Or the impoundment has been lowered.
well, the
Dam
state,
is still there.
the state has said it has to be taken care of. But the problem is the person who owned it was privately owned, no longer is going to do anything, so it's up in the air.
Yeah, it's a-
Who's going to be responsible for that dam? So, but that's the next dam, and that's about, on the other side, just on the other side of Route 125.
Thank you.
Basically, I was
Gonna
on
ask you if
the
that's-
Brentwood Fremont line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's just a good stretch that it would open.
Oh, yeah.
because I go hike around the mill pond. Is it the Selt property? It's not that dam.
No.
Okay, because they own a lot of property around that mill pond. Okay.
Oh, they could, yeah, might be, yeah, I don't know, but it's a privately owned dam.
You can see it from the road, I think, right? If you go, it's on the left if you're heading into Fremont. Is that correct? I'm pretty sure. You drive slow.
Your left or my left?
Left going into Fremont.
Going into Fremont.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's on that
Yeah,
side of the
so
road,
those
right.
that love the property.
Okay, so should we redo the vote?
Yes.
I would just
Yeah.
for
Okay.
clarification.
All right, so we'll start. Michelle,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Drew, aye. Connor,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Keith,
Aye.
and Bill.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so the motion passes with a roll call vote, 7 to nil. All right, next we have, we have the bylaws. As part of the bylaws, one of the bylaws is to review the bylaws, and we had not done so in such a time. So, and given we have some new members, I thought this could be a meeting where we spend a little bit of time at least talking about the bylaws. I don't want to go through all of them. I don't know if anyone had an opportunity to review them.
I did.
I think it's good to review them because it does sort of frame our work and what we're obligated to do and what we should be doing. So I think they're pretty good. I don't have anything immediately that jumps out at me that needs updating or changing. We can vote to update these or modify the bylaws as needed.
Question, Mr. Chair, to the chair.
Yep.
Maybe to Kristen too. In the bylaws, there's reference to the amount of time we have to respond to dredge and fill applications. Are those dates, those numbers still valid? I know there's been some changes in the state dredge and fill.
Yeah, and maybe some of the names of those wetland applications even have changed.
Yeah, but I don't know if it says 30 days.
Happens.
I thought, I'm not sure if those numbers still are applicable.
I can't answer that, because I think you're right.
So,
I think it's 45 days.
I don't know.
Does
either.
that sound
I don't
right,
know.
This
Connor?
guy
Do you
might know. He's all right.
But I'm wondering if, because the state could change them again a year from now, or 2 years from
Right.
now. Is there a way of writing the bylaw so that we don't all have to reference a specific number, but always reference according to state guidelines? So if it's now 45, and in a few years they change it to 30 or to 60, we'd have to change the bylaws again to be in compliance. But if we state in the bylaws that, we will be in compliance with the state guidelines, I don't know, it's just I just throw that out there. I know sometimes in planning board, or building, for building inspection, they do that.
Do they give any direction, like according to RSA, whatever, wherever you can find that information, so that a person looking at it has it instead of
Oh, I know.
figure out where to go?
Yeah, that RSA I was looking into, sorry, Kristen.
Yeah.
I think the RSA is right, and just the days are wrong, just the number of days. I think it is 45,
Is it?
and
Okay.
we have 30 days to respond, so I'm not sure where they're pulling that 40 from, but
Well, they changed it.
if we can
changed
just
it a few years
reference
ago.
the RSA, I think
They've changed it back and forth.
So perhaps a modification asking for additional review if a regularly scheduled meeting will not meet the deadline, and just take the
30 days.
30 days out.
What item are we talking?
Sorry, right, like page 5, item 3. Is that where you were?
Connor, are you still there?
I think so.
3A.
I was looking at the top one of purposes.
If you go back
for
to the other one
7.
when you haven't changed, sometimes it will give the date the last time it was modified. The problem is since COVID, they haven't been really good at keeping the RSAs up to date. So if it hadn't been updated and someone thinks it's been updated more recently.
That one's fine.
So what Dawn suggested, if that's possible, might be a good idea, as long as you reference the RSA.
Yeah, so if you look at item 3A on page 5, it says, upon receipt of a copy of an application to dredge and fill wetlands from the town clerk per RSA 482A3, except for agriculture and minimum impact applications as noted below, the natural resource planner, on behalf of the chair, shall send a letter of intervention to the Wetlands Board asking for additional 30 days for review. if a regularly scheduled meeting will not meet review deadlines. And my suggestion is to change it to asking for additional review if asking for additional time for review if a regularly scheduled meeting will not meet the deadlines.
Do you have to say pursuant to the RSA though?
I mean, it's referenced up above.
It's referenced up above.
Yeah, I just didn't know if the numbers, it's another spot where that's in the bylaws, it references a number that those numbers are still valid.
There's that one, and then in the the purposes has a 40-day review.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that modification. I like that, just replace 30 days with time.
Time for review.
Then it's Article 3 purposes.
Yeah, sorry, Kristen, that was the one I was looking at.
Oh, okay.
Item 7, to intervene when appropriate within 10 days of a dredge and fill wetlands application, and to investigate and report its findings and recommend within 40 days
So I would
to the
just
New
change
Hampshire Wetlands Board.
to intervene when appropriate for a dredge and fill of wetlands application and to investigate and report its findings and recommendations within appropriate timeframes to the New Hampshire Wetlands Board.
I mean, I don't think, I think we can just say to report findings and recommendations to the Wetlands Board. We don't, this is a general document. Doesn't need to have a time frame in there.
I would check that. Because if there's some kind of an issue with an applicant or something like that, you have to follow the guidelines of the RSA. So I'm just
But can we
throwing a
just-
suggestion out there.
Can we say what Drew said and then just reference RSA
Right.
483?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yep.
In accordance with,
And yes.
Yeah.
that's the word. Because, Nancy's correct. If it comes back to something where an issue is challenged, they'll say, well, in the bylaws of your own Conservation Commission, you do not specify. So,
Yeah. And when you're referencing an RSA, you really should reference it wherever it's applicable.
in accordance with the RSA.
It already does reference it.
Even if it seems repetitive.
Even if
I
it
think,
seems
yeah, I
repetitive.
think what she's saying is you should reference it.
Even though it says it in say 1 and you're repeating.
According to the
The
RSA.
guidelines or the specifics in the RSA, or time, you still should, just my thought, you still should consider having the RSA in that.
It's already in there, so.
Do you want me to reread then?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
What would be-
Andrew, I was talking about the previous one, but.
The one you just read?
Yeah,
Yeah, why don't you read that and use the term in accordance with,
okay.
and I don't know what they are.
To intervene when appropriate on a dredge and fill of wetlands application and to investigate and report its findings and recommendations to the New Hampshire Wetlands Board in accordance with RSA 483. Hey,
Yeah. I mean, this has never happened with the Conservation Commission, but you never know.
Right.
It happens with the planning board all the time and the zoning board.
It
And
happens
of course,
with a lot of
yeah.
things a lot, right? So, yeah, it's always better to dot the i's and cross the t's. So,
did you want to raise your?
can I make one suggestion? Just to update it to select board instead of selectmen, because they did that formally, they changed that stuff.
That's good catch.
And then just one more. I think it is, and we can fact check this, but I think it is 42. I don't know
There's
if
what?
We're looking that up for the RSA.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that our?
For item 7.
For item 7, yeah. Just to match. The one down below.
Oh, it should be the same as the one down below. Yeah. Yeah, because there's only,
483 is like Rivers Management and Protection Program.
So that it should be 482-A. Should it be A3, like the one that's in there?
It could. A3 is the dredge and fill.
So it should
But, like,
just be
A is like
just
all-
all of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Would be that specific up
482-A.
above.
Yeah, I had trouble finding it. Google searched better than I did. And then I had one more just clarifying, more of a question for you, Kristen. It was like on our terms. Where did I see it?
Terms of office.
It was like we can serve 2 consecutive terms and then have to become an alternate. Is that how I read that section?
Yeah.
That's correct. I just forget how that worked.
I'm gonna reference back to the select board
You can
members.
defer that to me, but I have to defer, I would have to bring it to the board for clarification on that. I know they were talking about
There
it.
was discussion years ago about whether,
Right.
because that's an update to the selectmen's policies, select board's policies.
Yep, and it has been finalized.
Well, then that's easy.
So, I think that there's trying to, right now we have, we're short on help and short on volunteers, so we really don't want to take someone who's willing to serve another term and have to tell them, no, they have to be an alternate. I mean, they could still be an alternate and then not be asked to vote, but, it's still a discussion item for the board, I think, the select board.
But is that, you could do two terms and then that's it forever?
No,
Or does it
no,
reset
you just have to go to an alternate.
You wrote,
for a year and then?
well,
Whatever
I
the
don't know,
term.
I don't have it in front of me, so I really don't know it. But once there's an opening, if the next year there's an opening, I don't know if there's I don't want to answer that because I'm not really sure, so.
I think if once there was an opening, you could go back to being a regular board member, but you had to be at least a year.
Yeah, there was
It was a
to let other
rotating
people-
basis so that,
Sit.
the idea was to give more opportunity for more people
Yes,
to sit on boards. That issue now is we don't have enough people who are willing to serve. So that's why it's, it needs to be, it's also a select board's policy about a board, putting people on board, so, and commissions, so.
yeah.
But I would leave it for now until maybe until the select board clarifies that sometime if they ever do.
Well, I'm sure it's on the agenda list, our list of to-do things, but the other thing is I'm sure it could be waived if there's ever an issue. So I don't see that as being a big issue, but I will bring it up Monday night.
Yeah, I didn't
My
mean to open
report.
up a can of worms. That's just a curiosity
No,
question.
That's our goal, is to literally, when we're asked a question and we need clarification.
Planning board, it's the same thing for the
Yeah,
planning board,
no,
zoning board, all the
never
other,
hesitate.
any board or committee member that's appointed by the select board falls under the select board's policies of,
Yes.
which all we're doing here is regurgitating the select board's policy on appointments.
Yes, and never hesitate to ask questions and see, because if there's a problem, we just have to fix it. It's not that,
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
it's
the end of the
just,
world. That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? To make sure things go smoothly.
with that being said, can I motion to approve the bylaws as
Amended?
amended? Is it as
Amended.
simple as that? I don't need to go through them?
As amended.
As amended, yep. So can I motion to approve the bylaws as amended?
Second.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, we'll do another roll call vote. Michelle?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
Drew? Aye. Connor?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Keith?
Aye.
And Bill?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. That was productive. Some good updates, which is why we do this. Awesome. All right, we have some funding requests. Kristen, do you want to do those?
Sure. So the Exeter Tree Committee, which is a subcommittee to the Conservation Commission, received a donation from a resident for the purchase of 15 Liberty elms, plus funding for installing the sleeves and other things. And so, the volunteers ended up having to go twice, once to pick out the trees and then a second time to pick up the trees. So they went out first to identify which trees and then went out a second time. And so my request to you is if the Conservation Commission would be supportive of reimbursing their mileage, which would be a total of $380. You do have it in your budget, and it seemed like an appropriate contribution from my perspective.
I think that's great. Do we know where those trees are going to be planted? Did you say that?
Yes, all but a variety of locations. All but 2 have been planted, and I don't have the list of where they are, but I think 3 were at Swayze Parkway, the north end. Oh, this is terrible that I don't know this. I can get you that.
But they're throughout town in
Yep.
where there's a tree that's died.
By the library. I
2 at
think
the
there's-
library,
Yeah, 2 at the
yeah.
library, yeah.
Brickyard Park, Park Street Common, 2, 4 at Brickyard Park, 2 at Park Street
Oh.
Common,
Wow.
Great.
and Swayze, 3 at Swayze.
At least some loving care.
All right. Well, I'll motion that we approve the expenditure of $380 from the Conservation Land Administration budget to reimburse the tree committee volunteers for mileage to pick up and transport the 15 donated trees.
Second.
Okay. All those, wait, nope. Michelle?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
Drew, yes. I. Never. Connor?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Keith?
Aye.
And Bill?
Aye.
All right, the motion passes.
Just several years ago, I don't know how many years ago, the Conservation Commission with the tree committee, we planted a couple of Liberty elms. Bill, I think you were involved at that point, weren't you? How are they doing, by the way?
3 out of Gale Park.
So,
Where were they, Bill?
Gale Park.
Gale Park?
Where's that?
Gale Park's on the junction of Linden Front and Pine Street.
The,
Across from St. Michael's.
yeah, where that
Oh.
sculpture is? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where the Memorial Day parade ends, the big speeches, everybody's out there at that.
How's the tree doing?
that's a good question. My assumption is it's doing well. There are about, I think I have a list of like 28 or 30
How many?
Liberty elms that have been planted over the years.
Really?
That
Wow.
periodically I'll drive around and look. The only one that I know that we needed to replace was the one in the island at Summer Street.
Out Salem Street,
At what?
Salem and Water Street.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, where the Tree City flag is.
Yes.
And
Oh.
and that was replaced a few years ago. Everything else seems like it was doing okay.
Excellent.
Excellent. And how big are these trees? Did you say?
Not giant. They're 1-inch caliper,
Oh. And so they're
6 to 8
6
feet,
to
I
8.
think.
Yeah.
movable size. That's
Yeah.
good. Okay, next we have, do you want to promote the annual meeting? New Hampshire ACC annual meeting?
Sure. So I think you mean, do you want me to tell you about it? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to sell it here to anyone.
I mean, I don't
I think you did send an email.
Well, it's next month,
Yeah,
right?
so the first Saturday every November is the annual meeting of the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions, which is a statewide board that helps to educate and advise conservation commissions. Their annual meeting has a variety of topics from, new member basics to, how to manage beavers or how to address what the new wetland regs are.
Yeah, they often
All
have
of
good, really
these.
good wetland review sessions.
Yeah.
I know when I went once, I learned a lot from Mark Jacobs. I think he was there.
Good. Yeah, so the agenda and workshop topics are up on the website. We do have $150 remaining in the, sorry, $180 remaining in the education and training budget. So there's, I think it's $60 to register with it,
Yeah.
Michelle? So there's plenty of space to accommodate several members. If you're interested, we can reimburse. And so I included in this month's request just the amount of money you have remaining in that budget, authorization to spend it for registration, not to exceed amount for registration. To cover that so that board members don't have to wait for the next meeting to get reimbursed. Otherwise, they wouldn't get reimbursed until December.
Right.
It's definitely, there's early bird registration. It goes up, I think, to $75 if you
Yeah.
wait too long to register. So if you're interested, I would encourage you to register as early as possible.
When Bill and I first started going, all you had to do was a bunch of beads is what you had to pay for. Right, Bill?
Paid in wampum.
And some wampum.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And you'll be there. Are you going?
I will be there, yeah.
Nice. Kristen.
Just full disclosure, I'm on the NHACC Board of Directors, New Hampshire Association Conservation Commission's Board of Directors.
Is it in Pembroke this year?
It is.
The years when I was going was in Concord.
Yeah. We considered, we were looking at a couple different venues, but we came back to Pembroke again.
Okay, so I'll move to approve the expenditure of up to $250.
180.
Up to 180. And amend that to 180 from the education and training budget for member registration at the annual conference. Likely 3 people can go.
A second.
Okay, we'll do the roll call. Michelle?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
Drew? Aye. Connor?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Keith?
Aye.
And Bill?
Aye.
All right. Those were our 2 funding items. Tomorrow night, we have an all boards meeting. I'm planning on attending.
The
And then
agenda's on the, I did check the website, the agenda's on there now.
I think we got an email today. Did everyone get that, or did it just go to
I didn't get it.
It would just probably go to the chairs.
the chairs?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna assume it went to the chairs if no one else remembers
Yeah.
seeing it. And I didn't get one either, so.
Yeah,
Oh, it's just a reminder, it's not an agenda. Pam reminded us. So it's at 6:30 at the library tomorrow. Next Wednesday, the 18th, we have the RSA 91A right to know training. Also 6:30 at the library. So that's back-to-back Wednesdays.
they have food.
Do they have food?
Just wondering.
Asking for.
That's a good recommendation. Particularly for the right to know meeting.
Well,
Not that that's not a riveting topic.
I'll check though, because the last all boards meeting was in February, and I just can't remember if
no,
there was anything.
There was no
there.
there's no food.
Nothing there, okay, no water or anything?
Yeah, I do. I actually, yeah, if there's no food, I remember. Well, there's food, I remember.
And probably no childcare either. I know that was Allison's request from a while ago. Because I know there's some families that have multiple people on committees, and it's hard for everyone to attend. Okay, so hopefully some of you will be there. I'm going to go. No strong pressure to come. I think it is beneficial to see other people at these meetings, though. So hopefully it'll be a good conversation. Committee reports. Property management. Do we have any?
Yeah, I just had one thing to bring up under property management. Kathy Norton, who is the daughter of John Raines, who lives across the street, basically from the parking lot of Raines barn, or Raines property, had said, she came in, oh, I shouldn't have said who it was. A resident expressed concerns about somebody practicing bird dog training out at Raines, and the potential appearance of it being a commercial operation. So they're there every sunny day or every non-rainy day. The car has multiple kennels in it. They bring multiple dogs out. Sometimes there's people sitting in the field, like there were 12 people there the other day. And so I just wanted to raise that to give you a heads up, and I will look into, I'll try to time it. I am struggling a little bit with finding what the violation would be, because if it's a commercial operation, it's a clear violation of the terms of the deed. We're not allowed to operate commercial activities on the property, but our town ordinance does allow off-leash dogs for the purpose of trade. So if it is all their dogs, I'm not quite sure what we can do about that. But anyway, I'll look into it and report back next time.
For years, that kind of training went on at Connor Farm. Because they got the huge fields out there.
Yeah.
I mean, many times you've seen people out there training the dogs for the season. But
and I have seen people doing this in the past at Raines, not necessarily a multiple kennel.
But any kind of an operation like that, I think it's not with the intent of. I mean, the intent is for public use. I mean, we don't want to deny people the public use, but the public use for a profit is definitely a no-no. But even, I guess I would support having Kristen look into it and report back.
Yeah.
It is a fine line to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
I know.
exactly sure. I'm still looking into.
Because we had that for years.
The other thing, if it is a large number, your management plan for Raines and your use authorization application states, I think it's parties of more than 10 people need to come for a use authorization, come before the board to request a use authorization. So I'm still kind of looking into that, but I just wanted to let you know that that's happening, and I'll tell you more later.
By the way, I did find the agenda for the all boards meeting.
Yeah.
It's posted on the town website. It's introduction of boards in attendance, public meeting etiquette best practices, RSA 91A training, review of board training needs, and schedule follow-up meetings. So basically that's the agenda. It's, so I think it's looks like it's going to be primarily focused on best
Yes,
meeting.
and Exeter TV, I
best
believe,
meeting practices.
Exeter
How to run a
TV is
meeting.
going to do a demonstration, just
Yeah.
so that people understand things that you don't really think about when we're sitting there. So if, I'm going to use you for an example, Andrew, if you decided to have a conversation with Kyle, these mics are really, pick everything up. So, and it happens in a lot more than people realize. It's just that I tend to go to a lot of meetings, so I notice it, right? It's just the way it works. So it's just kind of a reminder that, happens a lot of budget, right? People have these sidebar conversations, and it happens, and just muting when people are on Zoom. I wish we could mute ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? Because when we're coughing or whatever, it literally, when you're watching from home, it literally covers anything anyone's saying. You can hear the cough over everything. Just little things like that. It's amazing. When I was sick, the things that I learned when I had to do meetings from home for a week, it was amazing. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that.
Hopefully it'll cover things like how to open a meeting, how to close it.
Right,
how to call,
yeah, I
how to
wasn't
do a
done by
vote.
any stretch of the imagination.
How to do a vote and
How to vote, how to do, when to do the roll calls.
how to make a
all that.
motion.
I will tell you, I do 91, the right to know law refresher every year. I work in a law office, I understand law, and I still, those refresher things are very helpful, so. And it also, when we do that, the following, it's also gonna give people a chance to ask questions of the presenter. Because it's gonna be somebody from municipal, New Hampshire municipal something.
The 91A meeting.
Yeah, yes, there's gonna be a professional there that people can ask questions and give scenarios and, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I just wanted to, because you were asking about the agenda.
Yep. Okay, so we had that one property management. Any other property management?
One more thing to share, I think, and I did list kind of what the other boards were up to in my, yeah, I did. Kathy offered, she has, I guess they had some trees taken down, and they were old cedar trees that are pretty substantial, and so she has some posts available and didn't know if she thought they might be good either for signposts or you know, maybe for closing a trail or something like that, but she did offer, she had quite a few of them, so if that's something of interest, let me know and I can reach out to her.
Yeah, cedar's valuable stuff.
Yeah.
They last forever, don't they? I mean, that
Lasts a
stuff,
long, yeah, it's naturally rot
a
resistant.
lot of years.
And then we kind of thought it was starting, but it didn't and got pushed back. The trail closure for Oakland's trail network, Eversource went out and put the signs up. And Dave called me to let me know that they were out there. I contacted them and they said, yes, it's imminent. And then something got rescheduled in their, shifted in their calendar. And it was pushed back to October 15th. But now it's probably, I think, 3 to 6 weeks out. So we'll just, they promised that they would give me a heads up. We'll go through the same channels. We have a website. They'll put the signs up.
The signs are up now?
She pulled the signs, so they'll have to go back up again. Just keep an eye on the website or the parking lots or Facebook, and we'll try to get the word out as best as we can. And hopefully the bi-weekly report. We know it won't happen before October 15th at this point.
Okay. It is up on the homepage.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
And I think I put the date, right? I think I put October 15th. I don't know, it all kind of happened quickly.
It is not, it just says the trail is closed.
Okay.
From what I can see, maybe if, no,
Okay.
so maybe that
I
could be
can fix
amended
that,
to
yep.
saying will be closed on X date.
Yeah, I'll make that change. Good, thank you for checking.
But it's nice having those flash alerts on the homepage of the website, so I think that's a useful tool.
Yeah. And we'll try to get it into all the newsletters that people subscribe to.
Kristen, was there any talk about them giving like status updates as they're going, possibly open portions of the?
So we did request if they could move kind of in a phased approach or something like that, but they believe that they'll be working in that entire section at different phases throughout the time. So the broadest time it would impact would be October through December, but they're gonna try to move through there as fast as possible.
Right,
And
but didn't they already do a section like 2 years ago?
Yep. Yeah, and so, and they talked about this here at the Conservation Commission meeting. There's certain criteria that causes one power pole to light up that it needs maintenance, and they try to look around that, but they're under certain restrictions of they can't replace an entire section and all the poles because they have to keep costs down. I don't know. It sounded complicated, but it, you know, I do think they're trying to do it as efficiently as possible. It's inconvenient, and I know it will be a problem for parking for the northern section north of the power line. There's not a good solution, but you know, it's another reason why the potential conservation property that we've been talking about with the addition of a parking lot in Newfields could be a benefit. It's another example of how that's needed.
People could potentially park on the streets around the trailhead, so right where they're not specifically posted no parking?
I guess it would depend on the situation. I would discourage parking on the streets at trailheads. So, I don't know, like where specifically?
Like Woodridge Road, that little cul-de-sac kind of there.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's, I mean, it's just like a cul-de-sac, but there's no parking directions or signs or anything like that, so, I mean, you can't park overnight in the winter, I think, but that's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm sure the neighbors aren't going to love having cars parked in front of their house, but there's nothing stopping people from doing that.
Private, probably.
I don't know if
Private.
Woodridge is the town plaza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Public.
And then also over by Deer Trees.
I mean, ultimately, we want to be good neighbors. We don't want to cause a situation where we're creating a problem for a short-term period. I know people want access to the trails. We don't have another solution. As soon as an opportunity to open up a connection happens, we'll do it. We just have to trust that everyone knows it's an issue. They're all trying to work through the project and get what they need done, completed.
Yeah, I would be hesitant to promote off-street parking like that unless we got, I'd like to see the police department's input, what their thoughts are.
Yeah, at least.
I'm not saying that we should promote it. I'm just saying there's nothing stopping people from doing it, right?
Yeah. I don't know if there's something stopping people from doing it. I would think courtesy might, but I don't know. I just feel like it could really snowball quick, I guess, is how I feel about it.
Well, related to this, there is a meeting that we'll mention. It's regarding the Rugg property and the grant application that was submitted to the Drinking Water Groundwater Trust Fund. Lynette has scheduled a meeting with the state DES to walk the property on November 3rd at 11 a.m. And I believe, Kristen, you're going to go.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone on the commission, certainly we're not required to go, but if anyone is interested in going, I think that would be a good show of support for the project.
The Rugg property?
This is the Rugg property.
Yeah, I think we walked that.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
Yeah, so this would just be an additional site walk with.
It's with the funders.
With the funder, potential funding. So that's an opportunity, November 3rd at 11 a.m. Talk to Kristen if you're interested, but no, by no means a requirement. We have not heard, there may be another one on the other property.
Yeah, I've not heard. Powder Mill.
Down on Powder Mill. We haven't heard about that, but we did, thanks to everyone who came to the select board meeting, and we were able to have our meeting within a meeting. We made it through that, and so that was successful.
So that grant has been done, the Powder Mill?
I believe both applications are now submitted to the state.
But the Rugg
funding.
property is not, correct?
Yes, both of them.
Both have
them.
been.
Oh,
The difference is that Exeter has allocated funding from our conservation fund
Full powder mill.
for the Powder Mill property. There is no funding right now from Exeter for the Rugg property.
Right.
We would have to then, that's what that bonding, that's the whole issue of
Right.
how we're gonna pay for that.
But we're still working through the property boundary issues.
Right.
Legal counsel is looking into the title reports. And so we wouldn't move forward with that, obviously, until that gets settled out. But Lynette did speak to the state, and it sounded like they might be able to work through an extended timeline if that's needed, meaning March 2024, perhaps consider that as a warrant article. So I don't know. We'll see. You know, our application went with several caveats, and it's a competitive year. So we'll just have to, it's kind of like, you know, we put our hat in the ring and we'll see how it comes out.
Except the clock is kind of ticking on the 2024
Correct.
budget. Budget meetings are going on, and budget will be, and the warrant articles get submitted to the select board, I want to say December.
Correct.
So, I mean,
And I mean, normally
Yeah.
something like that would be a CIP item, and it wasn't, so.
yeah, we'll have to go through that process. Be a CIP to get on the warrant. Okay.
So, it is, but well, I don't know, to be determined.
Yeah,
TBD.
I mean, it's probably possibilities depending on how fast that goes, right? Where things fall. If the title gets cleared,
Right.
right,
don't
I mean,
know.
that's the next step. That's where you're at, title clear.
But, you know, it's a great opportunity to speak with the funders, and hear what kind of questions they're looking for, both for this project, and maybe that would inform, you know, future applications down the road, or whatever.
And that's open to the public, or?
I think this is just the applicants. No, I'd say no. In this scenario, she just reached out to see if a member of the Conservation Commission could come. So. I did have other new, not to change the subject, but while we're talking about grant applications, not ready for, you know, publishing in the newspaper yet, but we did get notified, I did get notified today that the Moose Plate grant that we applied for rains, to cover a portion of finishing up the rest of the work, was successful. It was 1 in 14 applications that were accepted, and they had double the funding request than they had available. So we'll still have to work out what that means in the grand scheme of things, but hopefully, right, I do have a CIP, we do have a CIP item listed
So
for rains.
we got the grant, or we just,
We did get the grant.
congratulations, very good.
And it's a 2-year, we have 2 years to spend it. So we're still working through the budget process as to whether that article will make it on the warrant or not. But if it doesn't, we can put it on next year and
Okay.
still be within
We have a 2-year window.
we have a 2-year window.
Wow,
Good.
excellent.
Very good.
Yeah, I was pretty excited to
Thank
hear
you,
that.
Kristen.
Yeah. It's great news. Awesome.
Yeah.
That must feel good. Yeah, that does feel good. Another win.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. Any other? Are we doing any outreach events? I know we've talked about a few things. Any other events we need to discuss? Should we start the alewife planning for next year?
We could. Yeah, I mean, I would think full moon snowshoe should be on the radar.
Yeah,
You're
typically
interested
we've
in
done
that?
February. I like that event. I'm happy to do that again in February.
So I can bring some full moon dates to you if you want at the next meeting.
Maybe there'll be snow this winter.
We're supposed to get, it's supposed to be a snowy.
Maybe not, I hope, no, I don't.
Sorry, I know you guys enjoy your thing and
I'm with you.
I'm not trying to, but yeah. I think of shoveling, sorry. It's just not.
I think you're gonna be in for a doozy.
I'm here, that's what I hear.
Yes.
We're in for a doozy
Lots
this
of
year.
bad bill this
Blessing and a
winter.
curse.
It's a nasty.
Blessing and
The
a
acorns.
It costs money, it takes a
But
lot.
it's a good acorn year. After
And,
two
yeah.
low mast years, we
Yeah.
have a high mast year.
Yeah.
Excited about your tree committee and their budget.
Okay.
finally.
Yeah. I did-
Any other committee?
Yeah, one more item. Thank you for
You're welcome.
reminding me.
I
So,
think it's exciting.
as part of the tree committee gave a presentation to the select board on their accomplishments, and the select board encouraged them to kind of think about what they need for a successful program. And so the tree committee, Public Works, Jay Perkins, Parks and Rec, Greg Bisson, and I all sat down and kind of came up with a proposed budget request. And it's a substantial ask the first year. It includes funding for some equipment, some truck bodies that go in a bigger truck,
Close enough.
or a chipper and a water, something that can transport water.
Water buffalo,
Well, yeah.
that's what they used to call it. I don't know if it's still do.
A $10,000 contract that could fund a consultant to set up a form on your phone through Survey 123 where volunteers can inventory our street trees. Some funding to get education for Jay Perkins and his crew to become to not become a certified arborist, but to get training in how, best management practices for insect identification and control and some other things. So we presented that to the select board a couple meetings ago.
A few meetings ago.
And the select board was very supportive of that, and as far as I know, it's moving forward through the budget process, so.
What's the bottom number?
It increased, so Jay's budget is the budget that had tree maintenance in
Yeah.
it. And so it increased his budget by about $80,000-ish.
That's only for the first year. And then
For
the
the first
second year,
year.
it's that initial investment on the equipment. And then the second year, it's nothing anywhere near that. But the board did recommend increasing the second year to add more
Tree
tree.
planting.
I'm not gonna put on my financial conservatism. hat
I know,
tonight.
it's okay. It is what, it's going through the budget process, so. Anyway. Yes.
So it would stay under Mr. Perkins' budget,
Yeah.
Yes.
would be a new budget item, would be.
No.
And I think that's it for committees.
No, can I have one more thing on
Oh,
that?
yep.
Though? It was what I took out of that too, that I thought was wonderful also, is that the tree committee has been doing a lot of work, as you all know, it's under your purview, and they were given the option to come back to the board if they wanted to be a standalone committee instead of a subcommittee, and they came back and really talked very highly of the cooperation with the town employees, other committees, and they were very happy to stay under as a subcommittee of the Conservation Commission, so. Thank you.
It's one of the more active, probably the most active well, no, Trails Committee is a pretty active subcommittee too, but we're very active.
They are getting a lot
subcommittee.
done.
Excellent. So they've been doing a great job,
Yep.
Yeah, that has been a great addition. Okay, so I guess let's approve minutes. I think we can just vote, can we vote once at the end for all of them? There's like 4 different,
you gotta vote them individually,
we have to vote individually.
yeah.
Okay, my process people over there, all right. Let's do
Not
it.
asleep.
First up, we have 4. September 11th, site walk, Rug property. I don't, in this case, think we can vote for these even if we weren't at the meeting at this
You
point.
can, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't have any edits. Okay, I'll motion that we approve the September 11th sidewalk meetings,
Seconds?
It's minutes.
meeting minutes, thank you. Okay, Michelle,
Aye.
Kyle.
Aye.
Drew, aye. Connor,
Aye.
Don,
I'll abstain.
Keith,
Aye.
Bill? Bill can abstain. So that passes 5-0 to 2 abstentions. The next one is the following evening, we went on the September 12th, we went to walk the Ryder property, the Powder Mill property. I don't have any edits to these minutes. I'll motion to approve them.
Seconded.
Okay. Michelle?
Aye.
Aye.
Kyle? Drew? Aye. Connor?
I abstain. Wasn't there, so-
You can abstain. Don?
I'll abstain.
Okay. Keith?
Aye.
And Bill?
They,
Abstained. Okay, so was that
4.
4-0 to
3.
3? Motion passes. Up next, we have our regular September 12th. It's been a busy month, the September 12th meeting minutes. I had found one edit to those on line 78. It should say Kingston and East, or sorry, it should say Kensington and East
East
Kingston.
Kingston.
I also had an edit that involves several lines, but basically from line 51 for the rest of that item, everywhere Mr. Lane is indicated, it should be Mr. Poulin. So I think there are 3, but there might be more.
That's a good catch.
Yep.
Okay, I will motion that we approve these as amended.
Second.
Michelle?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
Drew? Aye. Connor?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Keith?
Aye.
And Bill?
they,
Abstain. Okay, so that passes 6-0 to 1. And we have one more for our meeting within a meeting on September 25th. Regarding, these are the minutes regarding the approval of expenditure of money for the Ryder property. I had one edit on line 51, it should say Mr. Koff instead of Drew.
What meeting was that?
It was when we went to the select
Oh,
board.
the public hearing.
Yeah, the public hearing.
Oh, okay. Understood.
Okay, I will motion that we approve those as amended.
Second.
Michelle?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
Drew? Aye. Connor?
Abstain?
Don?
I watched the meeting, so I'll say aye.
Keith?
Aye.
And Bill?
Abstain.
Abstained. Okay, so that will pass 5-0 to 2. Okay, and that passes. Thank you for getting through that with me. Any other business correspondence we want to go before we adjourn? Okay, I'll motion that we adjourn with our next meeting scheduled for the 14th of November. Whew.
There's a budget meeting that night too. Just so you know.
Well, it's November, of course there will be.
I just went to look. Yeah, there's a DRC meeting, DPW. Anyway.
Does
sure
that
we
mean
can deal
we'll
with that.
meet elsewhere?
Probably get bumped, yeah.
We can get bumped downstairs?
Downstairs, probably, yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'll do this one more time. Michelle, or did someone second the motion to adjourn?
Yeah, Keith did.
Keith did.
Yep.
Michelle,
Aye.
Kyle,
Aye.
Drew, aye. Connor,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Keith, and Bill. We are so adjourned.
Thank you for tuning in
Thank
to
you.
Exeter TV. Exeter TV is the town's public and government access channels, available on Comcast channels 6 and 22. Channel 6 is your channel. If you have an idea for a program, want to host your own talk show, or submit a film, we're here to get your content on television. On Channel 22, we bring you live and replay coverage of government meetings and other town updates. A third channel, Blue Hawk Media, is operated by SAU 16 and can be found on Channel 8, with all your school sports, events, and meetings. You can watch Exeter TV online at exeternh.tv, Apple TV, and on Roku. Find us on social media for extra content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to get notified about live streams and new content. Tune in to our platforms every other Friday to watch the Exeter Biweekly Report, with recaps of recent events, updates from town departments, and messages from nonprofits in your area. If you head to our website, exeternh.tv, we invite you to sign up to our newsletter to receive monthly updates about new content, upcoming meetings, and more. We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Exeter TV and hope that you tune in to our other content as well.